Oh yeah, Phil did switch sides. I'm going crazy. All right. Players resolving mulligans here before game one, and we are underway.
For 2 seconds, I really forgot what I was playing.
Yeah, just you gotta look at your hand for a second.
Yeah, I was just looking at like, yes, this is the deck I'm playing.
You're like, I could choose. I did make this decision.
I did.
Gonna shuffle and pass.
Force of Phil says there was a turn in game one where my hand was 2 Brainstorm, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Prismatic Ending, Predict, and he just landed Teferi on minus. Instead of brainstorming and predicting with his Teferi on 1, I chose to Prismatic Ending the Teferi. He forced and then slammed a Narset, blinking my whole hand. With no counter magic in hand, Teferi on 1 is not overwhelming, even if it's still overcome the raw power. Yeah, now that you're pointing out cards in your hand, maybe there were some better plays that could have been made. We're talking, of course, if you're watching this later, about a match that happened earlier on stream. It'll be up on YouTube for you to view. There will be other matches with Force of Phil playing this Miracles list. And the other match was against Jeskai Kitten. As you go find that and enjoy it. All right, a bunch of cantripping happening so far. A brainstorm here for Ronald, as the players just try to build up their hands to start us off. There's never a world where an opponent goes to Fairy minus and then you spend 3 mana to Prismatic Ending it that you'll win. That's just a losing line every time. Warns all of us. Does Force of Phil. Yeah. Playing these control mirrors right now in a way where, and I've experienced this myself, in a way where you're going to save resources for your opponent's potential planeswalkers like Narset, who can just blank your hand.
Is everything fully expended?
All of your arcs, yeah.
Gomez, thanks for the follow. Welcome. SF is here. Hey, everyone. I'm happy to be watching some Legacy this afternoon. Good to have you here. What's up, SF? Force of Will pitching Brainstorm onto Fairy Time Raveler happening now. Looks like Ronald's going to protect. Force pitching Narset. To Fairy minuses and passing the turn now. Phil fetching a Tundra. Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down. Force pitching Brainstorm. Phil says it doesn't play out like a control mirror. The Planeswalker builds are way closer to a prison deck in play pattern than a control deck. And adds Kitten is definitely good, but I think it's getting way more clout when Teferi and Narset are the actual powerful cards. Plussing Teferi. Brainstorm now for Force of Phil. Another card that, that just when Phil cast this Brainstorm just now, you do have to be thinking about if Ronald fetches and casts Hull Breacher. These are all plays that you have to be careful of now. At least a little bit. Counterbalance. And you wouldn't even be able to counter the Hull Breacher there, too, because Teferi's on the table. So, in a way, just related to what we were talking about earlier and talking about now in the Twitch chat, casting Brainstorm in this situation that we just saw is a little bit risky. Which I guess I don't really see as a bad thing on its own. Like, if casting Brainstorm is risky, I think we're, I don't know, doing something to make the most powerful cards a little bit weaker, if you're going to look at it that way.
Well, you're attacking.
Yeah, Teferi doesn't give you the option to cast Brainstorm any other time, though. Yeah. But if you wanted to use 100% caution and have no chance of getting Hull Breachered there and having to put 2 cards back in your library, you'd hold off on Brainstorm. They wouldn't even need the force break backup, though, with Teferi on the table. Here's a Ponder for Force of Fill. Just, you know, with Ronald in that situation having access to blue and 2 other mana, I personally might have been more cautious to cast the Brainstorm. I'm not saying your play was wrong. I'm just pointing out that obviously it depends what else is in your hand, what other things you have available to do with your turn. But those are things you have to think about in today's Legacy. Ledgeview is here and says War of the Spark was such a great set. Ledgeview, one of our best people. Phil saying you can't really hold back with Teferi on the table, though. They can choose to not move because Teferi doesn't allow for a change of the narrative. All right, here's Days Undoing. Okay. Just getting cast here.
Did you give him a retro frame one, or did he put the retro frame style?
What? I got them in retro. Before I got them also.
That's all I was asking. I was like, I would assume you would just get them in retro, but you know.
Yeah, that would be way too intricate.
Oh, Kindle.
Yeah.
Ronald asking about the retro frame prismatic ending. Altered.
I'll pay for everyone but the spirit of the trigger. Right, it's still.
All right, so there's a force on prismatic ending. The counterbalance trigger was on the stack, is what my understanding. Prismatic ending revealed and force resolves. Countering the prismatic ending.
Plus the 4. Yep.
Plussing to Fairy now, up to 4. Playing Scalding Tarn.
Go.
And a Ponder for Phil. Asgard, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Your turn.
Where are we on followers and subs? Let's see. Bottom right of your screen has a 133 subs. Okay. Our record-breaking number would be 210. Yeah, we're moving along. June followers, 75 out of 100. All right, we're 25% of the way left to our goal. Hit the follow button if you like Legacy or if you like Paper Magic. Link says players are allowed to play with proxies. Not in this event. Not in this event. Asgard says, thank you. Glad to watch some real formats on Twitch. Yes. Yeah, that entreat flip is nice. All right, a prismatic ending removed to Ferry just now. Some discussion in the chat about MTG Goldfish versus MTG Top 8 as far as metagame data. I never really know what to make of those numbers, to be honest with everybody.
Maybe gave up that deck. that was the last straw.
Entreat for 3 angels on the stack. There they are. Former Hype Train conductor Christmas here. Those are angel tokens on the battlefield for Phil. Created 3 with Entreat the Angels this past turn. Ronald doing some fetching. There's Tundra. Supreme Verdict. Pretty good. That'll get rid of those angels. Narset. Fetch and response with counterbalance trigger on the stack. Mystic Sanctuary putting Entreat the Angels back on top and countering Narset with it. And then untapping and creating 4 angels. Pretty good. Snapcaster Supreme Verdict, I think, where it's happening here. That's if the Snapcaster resolves. Let's see what happens in response to this brainstorm. And Power Blast. Predict counters the Snapcaster, though. So Power Blast countered the Brainstorm that was in response. So Phil just blind revealed in response to Power Blast, and it was a 2, so that just got left on top to counter the Snapcaster. Here's Dress Down, and it is countered and passing the turn. And Ronald scoops. Phil up a game here. We will shortly be having the Webcam Legacy League match after this one. So that's something to look forward to. Scalding Tarn and Island to start the game. Brainstorm for Ronald. Cracking Scalding Tarn. Getting a Tundra.
Yes.
And a Ponder.
Good.
We reveal your arena because they are.
Yes. Yeah. It was aggressive to one of these. Good. Good. Drop.
Snapcaster gets in for some damage. Ponder. Looks like Jace, Force of Negation, Pyroblast. A couple other cards in Phil's hand.
Yes.
Another Ponder.
Yeah, I'm just gonna beat you down with a 3-2.
Very powerful.
Ronald making threats. I don't know if everybody heard that. Volume might be low for viewers at home. Watching this on 75-inch televisions. I know all of you do. The big screen. All right, Power Blast on Counterbalance, Power Blast on Snapcaster. On a Hull Breacher, excuse me. Counterbalance down.
You're gonna come out of nowhere with like a Ruination. I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah, we're both gonna be sad.
I'm just saying. All of a sudden you're gonna be like, gotcha, and I'm like, well, you know, you got me. Definitely got me.
Ronald's mildly worried about Ruination here. Narset. Force of Negation pitching Brainstorm. Passing the turn. Cracking Scalding Tarn now is Phil. Mystic Sanctuary. What are we putting back on top? Power Blast. Power Blast gets drawn for turn. And here's Narset. Yep.
Yep.
Activating. Another Pyroblast. That card Pyroblast, chat. I don't know. That card, I think it's too good. What do you think? A little tired of Pyroblast. It's just too good. 1 mana, blow up everything?
You took my Narset.
Savine's Reclamation getting cast here.
Target Hull Breacher.
Woozy Donkey, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
That sucks. That sucks.
Hull Breacher comes back from the dead. Reanimated by Savine.
I made my mistake.
Reclaimed.
That sucks.
Savine's Reclamation's so good.
Yeah, I know you have 2 of them.
And there's the Pyroblast on Hull Breacher. Minusing Narset. Finding a Predict. There's Predict.
You're gonna target me, right?
Yeah, anytime
So,
you want. Yeah.
I will fetch first.
Targeting Ronald. And Ronald fetching in response, shuffling away the Power Blast that was put back on top. Yeah, Power Blast is not very good if you're not playing blue. Something to keep in mind when deck building.
I'll still say Power Blast.
So drawing one card and milling a Volcanic Island off the top.
Yep.
Yeah, Painter players will like it.
Feels like it.
Here's the Snapcaster.
Okay.
Looking at the graveyard is Phil now. Looks like there's just Ponders in there, if I'm not mistaken, besides the Savine's Reclamation. I don't see a Power Blast or Red Blast currently.
Yeah, you guys.
Snapcaster will resolve. Taking a look at Savine's Reclamation.
Target
Can you do that?
Savine's Reclamation.
Yes.
Targeting Savine's Reclamation and casting it for discount here as far as flashback is concerned. And it should be able to target 2 permanents this time since it's flashed back. Pretty neat. So Scalding Tarn and Hull Breacher are back. Savine's Reclamation is exiled.
Cast from the graveyard.
Yep. Yeah, it works that way. You're right.
Go.
And a Power Blast on Hull Breacher. Force pitching Days Undoing. Days Undoing pretty useless when your opponent has a Narset. Mystic Sanctuary here for Force of Fill. Putting Power Blast on top, drawing it.
That's good.
Ronald ready to throw it away. Here's Jace the Mind Sculptor. And Jace Brainstorms. Ronald Hellbent, I believe.
Go. I'll keep trigger on the stand.
There's a Tundra. You hear all the people laughing and giggling in the background. That's not really something we tolerate at these events. But people do it anyway. I think this game is a big joke. I think this tournament is a joke. I think this Twitch channel and YouTube channel is just a big joke. This is serious stuff happening. Narset activated. Finds Force of Negation. Snapcaster has an option to attack. Prismatic Ending gets Force of Negation and passing the turn. Nope, that's a scoop. Ronald scoops it up.